Okay, it's a new toy day for me, and let's see what we have here, okay? Kind of a semi-unboxing here. I already took it out of the bag. But this is the ZSCM 48 pen, paint pen, acrylic paint pen, I should say, set here. Love the look of this right here. And this whole case and presentation. Isn't this awesome? But, yeah, really fantastic. Okay, so 48 pens, the way they have it arranged here, these are the 3mm kind of wide tip pens. These are the extra fine 0.7mm pens. Okay, so they have metallic, okay, metallic, I guess these are the metallics right here. So they have metallics, I don't know, they're mixed. Metallic, neon, glitter, and kind of more of a pearlescent type of finish to these different colors here, okay? And that's kind of this area within my whatever grouping of supplies that I happen to have that I'm missing, okay? I used to have those with gel pens, and I like gel pens, but just acrylic paint pens for my use are easier to use, okay? Just in terms of the amount of flow and the fact that I'm using them over certain types of media. I don't have that roller ball kind of action. Okay, so let's test these out here. Okay, let's just get right into it. All right, so let me see. Let's grab I don't know. There's so many different colors here. What do I want to start off with? It's the hardest choice. Let's try a blue or something like that. Let's try a couple different blues in here. And let's see the difference. I can't really tell the difference between one that's, say, metallic and one that's glitter, maybe. Actually, this one might be glitter right here. And maybe this is the metallic. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so these ones all have the clear barrels, which I really like, okay? The clear barrels make it so that you can see if your paint is mixed up or not, okay? And I think just in terms of presentation, it looks really cool too. And another thing is these companies don't have to do a different color barrel for every color of ink. They can just let the paints showcase the actual colors that you'll be utilizing. So that's always a good thing. Always shake up adequately, okay? You really have to shake these up pretty good, okay, because the more you mix up your paints on the inside, the more opacity they'll have. Now, there could be an instance where you don't want it so opaque, so maybe just shake it up a little bit less, and you'll have more of that watery type of application. Well, you're saying, well, when would you want it watery? Well, maybe some color is a little bit too light or something like that, okay? And you would like a little bit of a darker version of it, then just don't shake it up as much, so you'll get a more of a watered down version of that hue. Most likely. I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference or not. Okay, so the thing that I am looking for, first of all, is the construction of the tips, okay? All right, so we have that. All right, looks pretty good and sturdy. All right. Now the way you get these flowing is, wow, that was fast. I can see that paint just go right down. You depress the spring action and you get the tip. Look at how fast that works. Oh my gosh, let me see. Let me get this focused in here. Okay. Now that worked really good. There's a lot of flow to that, okay? And that's pretty key to any of these types of pens like that. For me, I want these things flowing quickly. A little bit of a lighter version. Okay, different hue. Now let's see if there's a difference between this one. These two look really, well, I guess they don't look too similar. That cap almost looks like it goes with this one. This cap looks like it goes with this one. It's lighter. Let's see what the difference is, okay? Maybe one of them is, I don't know, the metallic, and one of them's more the pearlescent. And maybe one of them's the glitter. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can see any difference here. Okay, get that going there. Okay. There is a difference, isn't there? Okay, I can't spell today. I'm focusing in on the flow and whatnot. Okay, when I do like this type of thing, I'm looking for that tail off right there, and if it's flowing evenly and equally at the end of the little swoosh like that. So look at this one. All right, so let's see. This one is this one. This one's the bottom one right here, and this one's this one. So let's see here. I can't tell which one is which. They all look pretty good though. They all have kind of that glittery. They're all kind of glittery and iridescent. Maybe this one right in the middle here is more of that metallic though, huh? But let's see if we can get, you know, good kind of a reflective quality to it. Yeah, see that right there? Look at that reflection in there. Okay, so the flow works fantastic. The inking up, I mean the initial flow is excellent, I would say. Now, here's the big test for me, because I'm not utilizing my pens in a traditional way that a lot of people would, which would be on just a piece of white paper, okay? I'm doing it over scenes, all right? That, you know, stuff that has been colored, you know, like this or something like that. I'm going to test for opacity, okay? Because if I add some type of ink to some sort of surface and it just completely gets transparent, you know, where I can't really see it, for me, that's not going to be quite as effective. So let's test it out for that. Okay, let's try these 3 pens again on a piece of dark glossy paper. So this was just a piece of, you know, some scratch paper, copy paper, okay, completely absorbent and white. All right, so let's go kind of in the opposite, where this paper is more sealed off. It's not non-porous, but it's, you know, it's getting there in terms of it's moving in that direction, okay? I don't know, that looks pretty good. Stamps. Looks pretty good. So that is on a piece of super dark, almost black piece of navy, I don't know, navy blue glossy. Okay, let's give this one a try here. Okay, this one was the darker one. Stamps. Look at that one right there. They might even look even better on kind of that black paper, or that dark paper, huh? Look at that. Looks like neon or something like that. And final one. Let's see how the, oops, tip came out. Okay, be careful about that. Let's see. All right. Get that flowing. Now they come with replaceable tips, so watch out for that. Just pops right back in there though. Okay, this one's definitely the glitter. And I can see it when I'm doing it on this non-porous paper. It's not absorbing so fast, so that is more of a glitter pen. Very glittery. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? I guessing this is the metallic and this is the neon glitter, maybe? Or is that the neon glitter? That's definitely glittery. One of them is more pearlescent. So I don't know, whatever they categories. Maybe these are just two different hues of the same type, but that one's the top's definitely glitter. Now I can see. That is pretty cool, though. Okay, so those are the extra fine tips. Now I don't know which one goes where, if it really matters. This one probably went in here. There isn't kind of like a signifying marker on the barrel designating which one is which. This, I think this one went over here. Let's test out. Oh, let's go with. Let's see some of these right here. The 3mm versions. Okay, I love my 3mm versions of my paint pens in the past. Let's see if these ones are. Let's test the opacity of these ones. Okay, that was one of the things with my other brand. I love them, and we'll keep using them, but let's see how these ones are in terms of their opacity. Sometimes when I built up my other pens in the past, my pen layers, okay, they dried in more of a transparent look, okay, and that's something that I'm hoping these ones won't do. Okay, that looks like some pretty thick paint there, but let's put it to the test. Okay, so let's see. Pink. Looks pretty good. Flow is good. You wouldn't think these tips are, you know, very fun to use in terms of, you know, like working on a scene or something like that. Probably, I think these acrylic paint pens are, a lot of them are kind of geared towards working on like rocks and things like that. You know, these will draw on anything. Acrylic paints. So far, you know, everything that I've tested, but let's see what it looks like here. Kind of putting these through the test right here on a piece of dark paper, right? I mean, if it looks nice and opaque on dark, that bodes well for a scene. Let's take a look here. That looks pretty good. Let's try the orange. Not too bad. These are almost looking like neon, huh? Pretty non-porous here, but that's been pretty thick paint there, but I can see that kind of bleeding out a little bit because there's, you know, there's so much on there. But let's check for opacity on these too, okay? So let's let that set up a little bit. Okay, looks pretty good though. I don't think that's going to show the, oh my gosh, look at that reflective quality of them, like that. Look at these different colors on here. Look at that when they catch the light like that. Let's see what it looks like here too now, okay? Yeah, you can see that really reflective quality. It really, doing this on the dark really showcases them though, doesn't it? It's like neon. All right, so those colors right there from the 3mm pens. I don't know about you, but that looks pretty opaque to me. I don't see any of that darker surface showing through them too much at all. So I don't know. Let's let that set up a little bit. Okay, now where do these come into play? I mean, if you watched my videos before, you know that I do scenic stamping. So let's say on something like this scene right here. These days, I really like a lot of I don't know, like bling in my scenes. So if there's something you can do into your cards, okay, it doesn't have to be a scene like scenic stamping, but if there's something that you can add to them that really kind of engages the viewer, the recipient of your card, for closer inspection, or having them look around and, you know, really kind of take a close look at the detailed areas of a piece, you know, then you've really done your job, okay? If people can enjoy things kind of at, you know, arm's length like this, you know, like holding a card like that, that's really good. But if you can get them to really inspect it, or want to inspect it, that's even better, okay? It's like, I always say, it's rewarding the viewer for further inspection, okay? And having reflectives, I didn't always do this, okay? I just started doing it like a year ago. I like doing little details, okay, but I didn't really do super detailed reflective types of surfaces, like working in foils and glitter and I don't know, doing things like embossing before. That wasn't really my thing, but it is now. I have so many iridescent papers and metallic papers and whatnot. Well, most of it was iridescent. Okay, here's a bit of copper. Let's see here. Okay. A little bit of a yellow gold. Okay. And a bit more of a little bit of a glitter here, okay? All right, so on something like this, when you get these types of colors like this, now if I only had a white pen, I'd be happy with it, but these days, you know, you can add in little types of embellishments in here that might be very, very subtle until you're catching the light with these little details or flourishes or whatever you want to call it, okay? All right, so something like that. I've added this pen, but look at these clouds right there. You can't really see them, right? My little dots right there, but let's see how they, see that right in there? See how those, see all these little areas like right in here? Yeah, there you go. See that? It comes alive in those areas when it catches the light. Let's try out a couple of these different colors. This one right here is a fairly dark color, right? It's real similar to this color scheme. So if I add it around in those areas, roughly the same value as this color itself, but this has a different property to it. It has that reflective property. So there you have that right there, a little bit less visible, a lot more subtle, right? But look at that. See that right there? You can see these little clouds out here kind of coming alive with a little bit of extra, oh, I don't know, highlighting. Look at that right there. Look at that lighting right there. So this is someone, okay, so where does this come into play? Okay, well, we can't see it at all. What good is that? Well, if someone holds this up and they go like this, or they've just come to know that if they kind of look closer at your cards, they're going to be rewarded with kind of a little special treat, okay? That is good stuff. Okay, here's a bit of gold. This one's the most reflective, I think, here. It can be like a lens flare or something like that. Here, see, I can combine some of this. I can combine some of these more subtle metallics in here with something like this, or you can have like a light beam coming out here in front of my trees like this. Okay, so there we have that. And let's take a look at some of those reflectives in here. Look at these. See these areas in here coming to life? And watch this right here. Let's see, let's zoom in a little bit. See, oh my God, look at that. Okay, so see right here? Watch this. Look at that come to life right there on that area. There's somewhere down there. So it's invisible, visible, or, I mean, this looks pretty three-dimensional, I think, but that is even more three-dimensional. Look at all these little highlights like that with the light. Look at that. It's like the scene comes to life, doesn't it? From that, and you go like that. Or you go like this, and it's like the lights are turning on and off within your scene. Look at the like the lens flare or something like that. Not really. People might call it, I don't know, like sun rays or something like that. With these ones down here, see, it's kind of, you don't really notice them, but then when you hold them up to the light like that, it really comes to life. I really love this area right in here, this little flourish. So things like golds for the warm tone scenes, silvers, blues for your blue tones, winter, snowy types of scenes. Let's test these ones out. Let's do another test here. This one's probably the glitter. So this one's the least kind of visible over, I guess, the darker kind of backgrounds. Definitely glittery. Okay, look at how glittery that is. Isn't that insane? Let's test this one. I don't know what, I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, here, let's try this right here. Oh, it's copper. That's really cool. And let's try this one out here. And that is a pretty bright yellow gold right there, so pretty fun, I would say. Now, are these dry? These are completely dry on here. I don't see anything on my finger. These should be dry too, or are they? Yeah, they are. That's a big glob of paint on there with a 3mm pen, okay? But let's take a closer look. Opacity looks pretty good. It looks as opaque as when I first, applied them. Let's try these on a piece of kind of Star Dream antique gold, I think it is. I don't know if this will show up gold on gold, but let's test it. Not too bad. Copper. Copper's a little bit lighter and it's closer to this surface, so you don't notice that as much, but let's test for reflectiveness. Pretty good. And let's see. I'm not expecting the neon to show up, or did I already do that one? Yeah. Yeah, that one doesn't show up as much. That one will really depend on the reflective nature of the ink, like that. Now it's still a little bit wet, but you can kind of get the feel of that one. So the glitter one is, they're very light. Let's test for opacity with the super reflective surface light here. 3mm. These ones they're not made to, write with, but let's just test it out there. It's almost like neon, like I said. And orange. pretty good, I would say. All right, so that is my initial test of this paint set, paint pen set. I think they look pretty good. And this is really putting them through the test here on these different types of surfaces right here. Any pen can write on like a white piece of paper, but how well does it write on there? Does it flow? And are there any breaks within the kind of fast writing? I mean, I'm doing that purposely just to see if it breaks up, and none of them broke up, so the flow was excellent. The opacity looks, I don't know, it looks pretty good to me. What do you guys think? Those really look like they're glowing. It looks like a neon light or something like that on top of this matte surface like that. So that, and then in terms of, I don't know, what do you call it? Real world applications as far as, when it comes to me, scenes. So that looks really cool. Right there. I mean, I could see that cloud like that, but when you put that highlight like that on there, it really brings those areas to life, don't you think? I mean, this I think looks good, okay? It looks deep and whatever, saturated, but when you add that in there, now we have these new textures and a whole new range of contrasts and values in here. These are very light in relation to the area in which they've been applied. So, I don't know, just a lot of potential here, and I can see myself using these a lot to create those types of, kind of embellishments and effects in here. So, fun stuff. I love these cases too. Just in terms of their convenience and presentation. Okay. All right, so I foresee myself using these quite a bit going forward. What do you think? Do you have some acrylic paint pens? Now, I used to use gel pens for my kind of glitter, and I don't know if I had too many iridescent ones in those sets, but definitely the glitter ones. Glitters and metallics for sure, and those worked really good. The modern day gel pens are excellent with that rollerball finish, but sometimes when I'm running my rollerball through, I have a little bit of white pigment ink on this. If I'm rolling it and having to apply it like that, for me, sometimes stuff gets into that roller ball. Okay, I'm not rolling it out like that, but I'm just doing little dots, but you still have to kind of get it rolling to get that gel feeding. But the acrylic paints, you don't need that type of rolling type of application process, okay, or mechanics. With these, it just flows right out of there. That being said, just remember to shake up adequately before each use, even if you used it, say, yesterday. My experience with the modern day acrylic paint pens too is that I haven't experienced any type of clogging before with these, and I think I don't know if they've perfected it, but they are pretty close to perfecting kind of the vehicle and paint consistency to avoid clogging up of these pens. And that's because the paint is relatively thin, okay, so it's not going to jam up those fine tips like that. But here's the thing, for me, in doing this type of test, it's testing for that opacity. We don't want a watery application of media, okay? And I'd say that by and large, these look very opaque, and this certainly is kind of putting it to the test here with the dark glossy. If these didn't stand up against this dark paper, it'd be a little bit more translucent, okay? But you can see this right here. I don't think, these suffer at all being on top of the dark. So Well, this one right here, the glitter shows through a little bit more, but the pearl and the metallic, you know, I'd say those images are just as strong on the black or dark, you know, navy in this case, as the white. So, I don't know. I really like iridescence and metallics and reflectives, so I see myself using these quite a bit going forward. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I don't know if you're in the market for these types of pens. It seems like a pretty good way to go with the selection of colors that you have in your green grasses and whatnot, your warm tone sunset scenes, sunsets on the water or something like that, you know, reflecting, you know, water ripples on a lake or something like that during a sunset, or your blue tones in kind of a winter midnight type of scene. I think that would work really well with that in regards to that. So it's nice having options. Okay, so that's my initial review of the I kind of forget the initials, so ZSCM or whatnot, 48 acrylic paint pen set. And you'll see me using these all the time going forward. I just know it and can't wait to use them. So thanks for watching.